right, court is calling 2022 CR 10840, State of Texas versus Jerry Castillo. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
for the defense?
Gail Counter over here for Jerry Castillo.
And are you Mr. Castillo? All right, Mr. Castillo, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're being charged with is repeated violation of court order or bond conditions, family violence?
Yes.
That is a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state recommends deferred adjudication. They will take into consideration JN 2101126, 2101087, and 2098931. And there's to be no contact with. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I already have a
There's a
protective
protective
order.
order with the mom. It's no contact with the mom. Okay.
All right. Do you understand the plea?
I
To
do,
be the plea?
Your Honor. It's no contact order.
All right. Mr. Castillo, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the
Yes.
plea? Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be 200 hours community service restitution, 1 year GPS for work purposes only, and for child care and visitation, parenting classes, compliance with child support orders, in the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah.
It's going to be you.
No, I mean, that, it's like day-to-day, the day-to-day time. That will be through the other,
I don't know.
It's outside the agreement.
so. we're gonna- the
He's
day-to-day-
trying to.
No
have a
problem.
GPS now.
I think determined to the courts.
It's
Or
gonna
the
be,
probation.
it's gonna be subject to the court's order, and we're asking that it be basically to the house except for work and for.
So I just submit my hours.
You'll be able to probation.
Okay, okay.
All right. Into the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
And we have to see exhibit number 1 and all.
No objection.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, just that he works full-time, and there's a lot of community service hours there, and he does work full-time. He works 12 hours a day, depending on his shift. And he likes to visit with his children when he's entitled, and there is a court order in place. And we just would request that the court give him a chance on deferred adjudication.
All right, so Mr. Castillo, do you understand that she doesn't want you anymore?
Sorry,
Do you understand that she does not want you anymore?
who are you speaking of?
I'm speaking of
I'm very well aware of that.
Well, here's the
We
thing.
have we went to family court and this is not pretty.
But here's the problem. What I'm reading, you don't seem to understand that. That's why the state wants GPS. Because you're showing up at her apartment, according to this, asking her where she's going, which is none of your business. And then you're showing up at her place of employment. No, I mean, this is serious.
Yes, ma'am, I understand, but I'm past that point in my life. I'm ready for new beginnings. I just got my children back from family court. I had to hire lawyers for that too. So I'm very past the point of what you're trying to tell me.
Well, I want,
Very aware. Yes.
well, I want you to be very aware of that.
Very aware, ma'am.
And
Taking it very seriously.
if you are in any other relationships, when somebody ends it or doesn't want you anymore, you got to let it go.
Yes, ma'am.
So are these children you have with her?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are their ages?
7 and 3.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is trying to do. 5 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration JN 210112 6, 2101087, 2098931. There's to be no contact. And if there are custody, visitation, and child arrangements, you need to do that through a third party. You understand?
Have that already, in place.
Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider with minors. 200 hours of community service restitution, parenting classes with Pt2. Once you complete the parenting classes, the remaining of the community service hours will be waived. There is to be compliance with child support orders. And I'll put this in here, but the conditions of probation always have in there that you are responsible for taking care of your dependents. And so in this case, it's your 2 children. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs, field visits, 1 time per month. And GPS tracking. If tracking will show if he's around her, then we're going to have some issues. The BIPP course. Why are we recommending the BIPP course?
Just with the history, there was no family violence alleged, Your Honor, but it was a very, I would argue, emotionally abusive, intrusive relationships. I think he could benefit from learning how to cope with those situations.
All right, we'll do anger management.
And there's no substance abuse either in the record.
All right, he has to do UAs. And there's anger management. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does this plea bargain agreement? Because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything that you do, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 10 years? You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And we'd be excused.
He needs to go over conditions with probation. Probation,
Yes, Your Honor.
can you make sure that that's an intensive anger management course?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because I sense anger issues. All right.